Hey, this is Bryson. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel, Jack of Trades. In this video, I'm going to go over the repairs I had to do to my CNC mill to get it back up and running. The mill that I have is about 20 years old, if I had to guess. It used to belong to my old company that I worked for, and then I bought it from them as they're going out of business. I got a really good deal on it, and it basically replaced my my Bridgeport that I used to have. It's bigger than my Bridgeport. It's more powerful, it has more travel. I brought the mill in my garage in pieces, put it together here just because I think it weighs about 3,000 pounds, and I do almost all the work by myself, so I didn't have the equipment to handle a 3,000 pound mill, so I broke it down into 3 chunks, which were manageable by myself. Basically took the head off and took the knee off, and then I had the base, and I kind of put it together in my garage and put it in place and got it up and running, but it was never kind of 100% running. I'm always kind of tweaking it. It's still sitting on blocks. But recently, kind of a series of events caused things to kind of start breaking on it. I was machining a part on it, and the chips got into the motor controller and shorted out the motor controller, frying it. There were some damages to the mill in the process of moving it. And then just this past week I went to move the mill, and something happened in my Y travel, and as I dug into it, what I discovered was this bracket. This bracket holds the XY ball screw nuts. So basically you have ball screw nuts that go into each of these bores, and then you have your ball screw which goes through in each direction. This is Y and this is X. Actually, I take it back. It mounts like this. So this is X, this is Y. And I lost my X because this had broken off. I don't know how it broke. I mean, this mill's been moved around quite a bit in the last couple of years. So maybe it happened in transit. It was working before, and so I don't know. There's nothing, I wasn't using it when it broke. I just kind of went to use it, and it was acting really funky. Fortunately, the company that makes it is still in business. I was able to order a new part. It wasn't cheap. That's why I'm actually going to save this and try to see if I can weld it back together, and keep it as kind of a spare just in case. The brand of the mill is not very popular, so it's really hard to find parts for outside of the manufacturer. So it's nice. It'll be nice to have some parts on hand. As I took it apart and put it back together, I noticed it looked like the one that I just put on was probably the 3rd brace, where this is the 2nd one, and there was one prior to this. Just based on, when you install these, you line them up and then you bolt it down and then you drill and pin it in place. And there's already 2 sets of pinholes prior to the 3rd bracket that I put in. So I don't know, maybe this is a weak part. But anywho, I'm going to try to save it. The X handle, which folds, had snapped off, so I had to repair that. That was kind of a cool little fix. Basically, I took the 2 parts that broke, I welded them together, and then I machined the weld down so it looks like a nice little fillet. Replaced the speed controller. I had to modify a little cover plate because the CNC kit that was installed was kind of sitting on top of the cover plate instead of flush with the mounting surface. There's a little bracket, there's a little clasp to hold the door shut for the power distribution box that had come off in transit. And it was kind of smushed, so I had to kind of reshape that and clean it up and fix it and then weld it back onto the box. So anywho, I thought I'd just go ahead and share the process of repairing this, taking it apart, putting it back together. I don't have, it's not enough information to do it yourself, but for those of you that kind of just like to watch mechanical stuff, this is for you. So the repairs actually went well. Everything worked out the way I expected it to. The machine's back up and running. It looks like it's doing okay. I guess without further ado, I'll go ahead and flip over to the footage that we have of the repairs. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Alright, so I got my CNC mill here that needs quite a bit of work. I have a fried spindle controller And most recently, somehow this bracket, this cast bracket broke. This is the XY feed, or XY ball screw nut bracket. Or it's a bracket that the ball screw nut mounts to in both directions, X and Y. And then you turn the lead screws to advance the table. In the Y direction, which I've got halfway torn apart here, there's the drive motor or servo motor for it. And the Y direction is pretty straightforward, but to get the X out, the X is sitting underneath here, I have to pull this off, this table, which probably weighs, I don't know, 300 or 400 pounds. So I'm gonna have to take off this drive motor, undo the retention bearing on this end. I think it only has a bearing on one end. Let's see. Let's have a look. We got a bearing on that end, but that end's just floating. So we gotta get all the way in there to get it out. But the only way we can get to it is to take the table off. So we got our gibs here. So loosen that, pull it out, and we can slide the table off. We'll have to use a picker to lift it up. Not a fun job. It's not what I want to be doing on my weekend, but I don't really have a choice. I need to get the mill up and running. And then we'll put it all back together. I actually have the part. I got that ordered, showed up today. I'll probably keep this and try to fix it. It's cast, but you can weld it back together and just keep that as a backup. This mill is pretty old. I mean, it's not ancient, but it's probably 20 years old or so. It's not a very common brand, so parts will probably get harder and harder to find. So if I have spares, if I can keep this and fix it, keep it as a spare, I should. Otherwise, you're talking, trying to make one from scratch, which is a lot of work. I have to clean off the table first, get the vise off. I gotta get this pile jack out of here. I might be able to get it done in the evening, we'll see. Alright, so this is the busted bracket on my mill. This is the XY ball screw nut bracket. You see it's just cast, but somehow it broke. I don't know if it's broken before, I just kind of let go. This mill's been moved around quite a bit and I'm not the original owner. So this I think could probably be re-welded as a backup, but I ordered a new one anyways. Well, I hope it's new, let's see. I am concerned that this uses these little roll pins to locate this bracket, and usually you do that after you've aligned it. You drill it and then pin it to keep that alignment if you ever have to pull something apart. I'm afraid that this probably won't have that alignment, so I'll have to do some alignment. I might even have to drill and pin it as well. So this is the replacement bracket. As you can see, there's no pins. So I'm going to have to basically drill and pin it once I get it aligned. And I need to kind of think about how I'm going to get it aligned. I just do a quick measurement just to make sure that these are close. Because the ball screw nuts are actually shimmed in here. Yeah, they look good. .576. Alright, so we got the mill back together. It seems to be working okay. The next step is to deal with the motor controller, or spindle controller. This one was shot. I thought I could fix it, but I haven't been successful. So I've got a new one that I can swap out, and then I think we can call it done. And we can get back to using this mill. Actually, I do need to fix my hand screw handle. It broke. So these are folding hand screw handles. When you're in CNC mode, you want them folded in so they don't smack you. What was I doing? I was homing the machine, and this pallet jack was here, and the handle flopped out and smacked on the pallet jack and broke the handle. So I need to either replace it or fix it. I might be able to just, I don't know. There's not a lot of material there. I was gonna say I could weld it, but there's not a lot of material there. I suppose I could just cut that off and tap it and just have a non-folding handle. I need to think about it. All right, so repairing the mill project is done. We replaced this guy here, so we got a new one in there. We repaired this busted hand screw handle, folding handle. What else did we do? We replaced the motor controller because the other one had fried on us. What else? Oh, I did little things like, so this cover plate had to be notched before whoever installed it just basically sandwiched the plate or the axis drive unit on top of the plate so it wasn't sitting flat. So we notched that plate so that it sits flat now. That's about it. It's running pretty good now. It's still on blocks. I need to get it off blocks. It sits on these blocks so I can move it with a pallet jack. So I need to do some rigging to get it onto the ground. So for now, it's fine. I got my vise back on. So yeah, actually it wasn't too bad. I think, you know, there's other things that I had to do, but the replacing that bracket for the XY ball screw nuts was not too bad. That was the other thing I fixed. In the process of shipping this, this little clip here broke. It got all tweaked and bent and damaged and popped off. It was just spot welded onto that box. But so I kind of reformed it and fixed it, and then just tigged it on in a couple of places. I guess that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.